I can pray, but I get no answer. I can assume the feeling of my wish fulfilled, but I don't see any results. What is happening? What is the problem? Why am I struggling so much? Why isn't it working out for me? These are things that many people will experience as they're studying metaphysical teachings. In this case of Emmet or Neville Goddard. Now, they're both great teachers in their own ways, but they have their own peculiar way of expressing ideas. Now, Emmet would talk a lot about the mental equivalent. Neville Goddard would talk about feeling your wish fulfilled, using your imagination, the divine power of your imagination, your own wonderful human imagination. Now, if we take both of these main points from their teachings, the mental equivalent and the power of your own wonderful human imagination, we come to the conclusion that what it's all about is learning to think in the right way. That's what you're called upon to do. That's what I'm called upon to do. That's what your neighbor is called upon to do if they're struggling. Really consider it, and consider it well. We have to learn to think in the right way. So every time you're thinking about, why am I struggling? Why isn't it working out? Why doesn't it seem to work? Why is it working for them but not for me? You see, asking yourself the question, why is it working for someone else, is actually a good thing. But then you follow it up by saying, but why isn't it working for me? This has a huge risk to it. It is actually also good. But what happens is that people get kind of down on themselves. They feel sorry for themselves because they're like, oh, it's not working out for me. I don't know why. I try my best, nothing is working out. And they start to spiral into this way of thinking that is completely in contradiction to all the good things that they would desire and like to have in their lives. This again shows you that our job is to learn to think in the right way. So instead of thinking things aren't good enough or aren't working out and leaving it at that level, we want to learn to think about everything we do as this is good enough. This is good the way it is. What I'm doing currently for my dreams is good enough. This is good the way it is. I'm doing the best I can. This is good the way it is. Now, of course, we can always do better. So this attitude doesn't mean that we don't ever aspire to try and improve things that we are doing, but we do want to have the main foundation of positivity in our minds, where we are no longer thinking in ways that is making us feel upset and bad about what we're doing and experiencing. We actually make a mental shift there and learning to feel good about what we're involved in already. This leads into that whole attitude of gratitude for everything that you already have and are doing and are capable of doing. Because if you're working on your dream, everything that you're doing, you're already doing a good job. If you're truly, sincerely working on your dream, then that is good enough. There's nothing more you can really do. We might, from a purely egoic perspective, want to see success faster, want to get rich faster, want to have stuff happen faster for us. But it doesn't work like that. Usually it takes time, for whatever reason and for whatever the goal is. It doesn't matter. As long as you're working on what you're passionate about, that is good enough. That's all you're called upon to do throughout your lifetime. Because without acting upon dreams in this manner, your whole existence will become pointless and a waste of time if you're just doing stuff that you're not even passionate about. Really consider it. So thinking about why you're not succeeding, why life is bad, is actually wasting your time. You're wasting your own existence by using your mind in that way. So I want you, if you've been struggling, to really consider the way that you've been thinking about yourself and your existence. Is it uplifting? Is it comforting? Is it soothing to your soul? Or is it actually putting you down, helping you to throw a pity party about where you're at? We can all do this. It happens to the best of us. But we all have that ability to sort of start to feel sorry for ourselves because we don't see the results that we would like to see either fast enough or they don't seem to happen at all. This physical life, it's just such a temporary thing. So why are we so worried about achieving so much? You see, it's very interesting because it's temporary. People might therefore become worried that they need to achieve as much as possible before it's too late. They have this whole doomsday thinking tied into this, that once they die, physically speaking, it's all over for them and they lost all their opportunities to ever succeed. But here's the thing, all these physical things are temporary. The power and the joy and the wisdom comes from the depths of your own consciousness and how you're using it. So use your mind to think in the right way. Therefore, you learn to think in uplifting, constructive ways that will help you to feel great in this moment of time, in spite of what you have achieved or haven't achieved physically. That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't control the way you are thinking. The physical world is here for you to enjoy and express who you are through it. You express who you are through your physical life. Now, of course, there's all sorts of dreams that you want to express that you will probably not even be able to express because we might have so many of them. And in fact, every time you achieve a dream, a new one, comes into view. So this is a process that's never ending until the grave. Literally, you can't escape it. You just keep desiring to achieve more and more. So since you cannot escape it anyway, what you really should be focusing upon is just doing what you're passionate about and to really trust that what you're doing is good enough. And to think along those lines for yourself, to dare to actually appreciate what you're involved in for yourself, and to stop comparing yourself to others and their success, because they might have bigger success in the eyes of the world, meaning that more people know about what they're doing or support what they're doing or are fans of what they're doing, etc., or have more money, more houses, bigger houses. All this physical stuff is great and all, but it doesn't help us to live a happy life at all if we are focused upon things from that angle. Instead, we're going to have to become our own best friend. We're going to have to operate from a place of passion, and that passion can only flow if we think in the right way. So ask yourself the question, if you have to work with the mental equivalent, meaning you build a concept of the sort of life you want to live, and then couple that with the power of your own wonderful human imagination, as Neville Goddard would preach it, well, what are you left with? Well, you're essentially left with learning to think in the right way, learning to imagine for yourself and your life in the right way. Now, this is something you have to become consciously aware of. This is very interesting. Actually, a psychologist just recently actually made me aware that that is sort of what they are working with in mental health work as well, is that they want people to become aware of what their thinking is doing to their lives and to their well-being. So you may be in the habit of thinking in a certain way that is detrimental to your success and well-being. So you have to become aware of that. The easiest way to become aware of your own thoughts is by writing them down. By writing down exactly how you think and feel about your life currently, and then to objectively look at that, perhaps like a stranger would. You would look at it and you see for yourself, does this look enticing to me? Does this sound like it's great or positive, or does this seem totally bad? Like, does it seem like I'm throwing a pity party all along without me realizing it? Because the moment you become aware of the way you're thinking and whether it's contradicting your true desires in life, well, the faster you reach that point, you can make a conscious decision to change that around. And that is when things start to improve. That's when you are in the process of learning to think in the right way. And that is essentially what Emmet and Neville Goddard try to teach humanity. That's what they're trying to teach you if you're still studying their work. That's what they're all aimed at. They're trying to get you to become aware of what you're thinking about, how you're imagining, what mental equivalents you're holding, how you're using your own wonderful human imagination, and to become aware of whether it's working for you or against you. And the beautiful part about it all is that it's your mind, and you can control that mind any way you want. But more often than not, out of habit, we're using it against ourselves. And we want to stop doing that. That should no longer be the way that we're operating. Take this serious because it can transform your life. That's a promise, that's a guarantee, because the quality of your life is determined by the state of your mind. You can have very little physically speaking, but be very happy inwardly because you're balanced. You're in tune with the infinite. You understand the power of your consciousness. You understand that the way you're using your mind determines how you're going to feel throughout your lifetime. You are detaching your mind from all the physical stuff and learning to feel great, no matter what. Can't you see how beautiful your future would be if you're in such a position? And this is a position you can enter if you but learn to think in the right way. So I want you to wish you good luck with this. It's something we all have to work on until the grave. Don't underestimate it. Don't let this world tear you away from this beautiful truth, from this beautiful power that lies within you. Don't be hypnotized back into becoming a slave of the physical world alone. Use the physical world to express what you want, what you are passionate about, because that's how it was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be that the physical world should control the way you think and feel about yourself. And that's the issue we're facing, as long as we're not thinking in the right way. Now, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.